Well, so what you will need is the Baldur's Gate 3 toolkit, which is glasses. Then obviously Blender. I use the 4.2 version, but you can use any version. Like, I know the 3.6 version is very popular, but like anything you're comfortable with. Then you will need the LSlib toolkit or the export tool and noises. And also what you will need is the GR2 add-on for importing and exporting the GR2. I will link all of these in the description. First, what I will do is I will actually find the hair. Which is the gnome cut long C, and I will right click, extract visual data, no, and now it's in my data folder. So after exporting, what I suggest for like doing this, you can use either Volno's texture toolbox or my hair mashup modders resource, because we have the mannequin, and in my resource I chose this because I have like different hair materials from the game already set up, but it's really up to you. So what I will do is I will import the hair and I will delete the lot and assign, I don't know, I think it's this material, yeah. So we can also see the skeleton. And what we need to do now is prepare this skeleton for the edits. And if you just use this one, import it with the hair, you will have issues because it doesn't have the proper rotations. I don't know, Kit explained it really well in his guide on the wiki. So what I will do next is go here and I will import this skeleton that I have exported, and the hair bases are in here. Also I have like unpacked stuff from the modders multi-tool. It's in models, public, shared, assets, characters, models, hair, yeah. And it's the human F gnome cut long C spring base, yeah. So I will open this one, I will import it, then I untick the XFlip meshes, but keep everything else like it is, and then we choose an output path, and I usually choose my BG3 projects folder, and yeah, I need to name it. So I will just copy the name, choose my folder, but make it .day. Yes, replace. So we have it imported, and then we have the output folder. Have these settings. Only thing I did was uncheck XFlip meshes. And now I export, and it should export successfully. So now we need to convert it from this format to FBX, and we will do that in noises. So navigate to your documents. No, that's my folder, but like any of the folders where you export it, find the hair base you just export it, and it's the gnome cut long C spring base. Yeah, now right click, export keep the default settings, and you should have an FBX. So now that you have all of this, just jump back into Blender. We can hide this or maybe even delete it because we don't need it, and the hair will go to the floor, but we can just press R, X, and type 90, and it's rotated how it should be. So now we go to File, Import, FBX, and now go wherever you exported the FBX. And here I untick the animation, and the scale needs to be 100. And import, and you can see like the rotations of the bones are really like messed up, but don't worry, it's correct. And this is how it like should like look like. So now I go to data, change the display to stick so it's like visible better. And now what we will do is pose the braids how we want them. So in the front, so have the dummy root. Oh, we need to parent it. Yeah, so I just move it here. Then I left click on the hair, press Ctrl, click on the skeleton, Ctrl P, set parent to object. And now here in the modifiers, we need to select this skeleton. So now when we go to pose mode, the hair will actually move with it. So I will try to use the... yeah, but it doesn't really work for some skeletons, so I will just quickly do it one by one. Okay, so now I have the hair in place, and what we need to do now is press A to select all, go to pose, apply and apply visual transform, and then apply pose as rest pose. No, wait, sorry. Before we apply to rest pose, we need to go to the hair and here apply the modifier. And now we apply as rest pose. So now we add the modifier back, and we are basically finished. So what we will do now is select both of these, object, apply or transforms, and now we export it, and I will go to the assets folder and name the hair whatever you want, so like front braids. And now for these settings I already made a hair export preset, but basically I have these ticked, and make sure that the flip meshes on x-axis is unticked. So now we can export. And we have exported successfully. Now we select only the skeleton, also exported as GR2, but we need to name it something different, and I need to and I usually name it the same thing but braid base behind that. So same settings, it should already be like this. So now we have it ready and we can go to the toolkit. So now what we will do is click on Add Resource, Model, Assets. Now switch to GR2 and find your hair, not the base, but where did I save it? Yeah, here, front braids. And click OK. If the hair looks right, you hit import. If it's on the floor, you forgot to apply the transforms, so just go back to Blender, Object, Apply All Transforms, and re-import. So now we import, and now we will import the skeleton. So the same thing here, switch to GR2 and find your base. Yeah, here it has funny names, so I will just fix it here. F. Okay, and it asks us to create a copy, so I just let it choose this path, select folder. And now if we go to our folder, you should have the hair mesh and the spring base. So just check that everything looks correct. And we will first assign a material to the hair. So right click the materials, go to all. I know that is a, no, it actually uses the shadow heart. Hair, yeah. Apply, okay. So now here we can do the preview visual resource ID and choose our hair mesh. And if you did everything correctly, you should see that the bones are where they are supposed to be. So now the hair doesn't have any physics. We need to add physics. And I will show you how to do just that. Okay, so now what we will do is double click the skeleton. I will enlarge the window and move a little closer. So we need to add physics, and because this is a base game hair, what I do is I go to File, Open Skeleton, and find the hair that mostly resembles the skeleton that I stole. Or because I don't know how to explain, but because we use this base game hair, I'm gonna open the base game hair to copy the physics from the base game hair to our modified hair. So it's this one. Double click and it will open in another tab. And here we have how it looks when it has physics. The front has physics and the back braids. So what I do to copy all of these like physics parts, these are capsules, and we can see the structure here. So like the bone that has the physics has these capsules and then constraints in between them that like connects them. Without them the hair would just fall through the ground. So to make my job easier, because the constraints and the capsules have all these parameters, these two are like symmetrical, so I only need to copy this side. So I start from here. I right click, save as preset, name it like back R, just so I know what it is, and be sure to untick the position and rotation, because our position and rotation will be different. And press OK. And we just move up. Now we save the constraint. Also name it back R. I always name it like what the first bone is here. And here we will untick constraint bone in case we will need to use the preset like for anything else, or I just do it. I just untick the constraint bone because it's harder to like change it later. And in the constraints, the position and rotation is down here, so I untick them and save. Now to this ponytail, so I just name it pony 00, untick these. Oh, it says I already have the preset, but I deleted. Oh no, I have all the presets, but I deleted them. Okay, so save. Yeah, that works. I will just copy it and hit OK. Save, check that it's the ponytail 00. Don't forget to untick. You can untick these when you apply the presets, but it's easier to just not save them. Tail 01. Okay, and so you can also notice that the last bone here doesn't have a capsule or anything else, so the last bone doesn't have like these physics stuff. So because the last bone is 05, we will end with 04. And I don't remember if I saved the preset, so let's see. Okay, so we should have everything saved. So now we go back to our hair, and this usually happens, so I just drag it back. Yeah. Here we are with our hair, and find the ponytails. So you can keep open the original one to see like, oh no. Why does it do that? Okay, I want. So we know that it starts with the socket back L. So right click. And you can see that you can't add anything. That's because you need to create a new physics resource for this one. So you can go here. Here you can change it to spring. And resource name, I usually name it same as the hair. and it has to end in spring. And here click is assign resource to skeleton. Make sure it's a spring type and create resource. And you will have this big yellow capsule. You can go here, click on it and just delete it. So now when we go back to the ponytails, we can start with the right side. So right click, here you can add spring and do this all the way to the 04, so 01 or 0001 now, and you can see that the capsules are starting to appear. And now we can add the preset, so move your mouse right somewhere here. Presets, I have many saved, but this was ponytail, yeah, this one, but it's the back R. Just check that you didn't check the position and rotation, but everything else should be there. You can see what it changes to what. Somehow it takes a while, and also if you won't do it the preset way but like rewriting everything from scratch, the first capsule in the chain is usually the backbone or like temple bone or 00 bone. In some cases it has to be kinematic. There is static, dynamic and kinematic. The first one has to be kinematic and the other ones should be dynamic. So now we go to this one and it's ponytail 0. And we do this all the way there. And I know that now it looks like a ball, but we will edit the radius and half height later. Ponytail 2. Ponytail 3. And we are ending with ponytail 4. So now we have like the capsules down. Now we can add the constraints, and the first constraint goes from the second capsule to the first one. So we right click the second one, add constraint, and do this for the others, and we end with the 4. Okay, so now this has the default settings, but now we can apply the presets. So this is back R to the ponytail 0, so we use the back R. Check that we didn't have the constraint bone, so it's still like the same. Now ponytail 0. Yeah, so we now have like this side pretty much set up. And what I understood is the size of the capsule is like the contact range or something, but I'm not sure, I might be wrong. So usually I just okay, so this one is, I just look at the values here and I'm not sure if all are the same. It seems to be like it, so the half height is 0.04 and radius 0.015. No. Okay, so 0.04 and 0.015, I think. I don't know why, but when applying the preset, these did not change, even though they are in the preset, so we have to do it manually. Okay, and we should have one braid done. So before we do the other one, which is fairly quick, I will just save here. And it needs to like choose a folder, so I use the one it chooses. Select folder, and everything should be saved. So what I do now is I should have made a new project just for this, because now I can't find it. Front braids, yeah. So I just quickly check the remap. Whereas a skeleton resource ID is gonna be our new skeleton. So I just type front braids and we should have it here. Slot ID is hair. Okay, I will frequently save, right click, copy GUID. Now I go here to the shared visuals and add the hair to the character creation. Name it tutorial. Now save. If you use shared visuals, don't forget to also add it to the erases. No, I named it tutorial. Okay, so now I just reload stats. So it applies everything. I reload the level. And our new hair should be right at the bottom, and let's see if it worked. It did. It moves. So you can see that this one is like done and this one doesn't move yet because we didn't add physics yet. So let's do that just now. So since everything is working kind of how it should, we will go back to our skeleton resource. And what we can do now, since it's like symmetric, is just right click the back, copy, right click this one and paste. We will do the capsules first. Make sure that you copy and paste into the right one. And the diameter or the radius and the half height don't copy for some reason, so we will have to do this manually, but all the stats are what they should be. So now we can copy the constraints. So now we just rewrite, or I could actually show you what the difference does. So I will save it. Now reload. Yeah, and you can see like it's kind of more away from the body because the height and radius mainly is bigger than this one. So let's finish correcting the values. And also, if you're like not happy with how the hair moves, I think it mentioned in the written tutorial like what some of the values do, so you can adjust it however you like and test it and see if like it's better than what the default is. So now we should be good. So if we go to hair, now we have like moving braids and they move kind of how they should. So if we like, these look more bouncy, even though the values are basically the same, but as I said, you can adjust the values of some of the parameters and see if anything like does what you want. So if we check like, yeah, so ignore the front because I didn't add physics to it, and since it's assigned to bones that should have physics, it's like this, but it would be the same process. So you can see the hair, like the braids move how they should. And hopefully you understood this tutorial, and now you can make like your hair move like you want. And actually I know it's like a lot of work, but once you make a skeleton and then you make like similar hair, you can reuse the skeleton. For example, I think these two hairs, I'm not sure if they have, I don't think they have the same skeleton, but I think this one and this one have the same skeleton, because here I also added physics to the strand in the back. So yeah, I hope you understood, and if you have any questions, just ask me on Nexus or under the video. And I think the first thing you should do is read Kit's guide on the wiki, which I will also link. So thank you for watching, and may your hair have amazing physics.